So I finally got a chance to play Prismatic Warlock, and it's safe to say I was not disappointed, with some amazing synergies that I can't wait to delve into in the coming weeks. Today, I have an awesome Prismatic Warlock build that you can put together right after you finish the Legendary campaign, and you can get right into destroying everything in the Pale Heart. Before we jump in, make sure to click the link in the description to my Twitch stream. We're going to be going live at 6 PM GMT or just a little bit before and taking part in the Salvation's Edge contest mode raid race. And you can get some exclusive emblems for watching and subscribing to my channel. So I'd love to see you all there and see how the raid turns out. With that out of the way, let's dive into what I like to call my Cold Soul Warlock build. So here we have the Prismatic Warlock. Once again, we're going to go through all of the abilities, the mods, and all that jazz. And first of all, let's talk about Transcendence, because in the Warlock, I think the Warlock has the best Transcendence that I've used so far. I haven't used the Titan, purely because of Freezing Singularity. When you throw this out, you're going to be able to suppress enemies and also slow them at the same time, which is really good because you're going to be able to get 2 debuffs on. And I just like the fact that you can throw a lot of these out very, very quickly, as opposed to the Hunter. I think that Void, Stasis, and Suppression also kind of goes very well with the theme of this build. Let's talk about the aspects first. Feed the Void, which is the main Void one that we get on all of our other Void classes, but in this specific instance, defeat a target with any ability to activate Devour. Your Devour effects are improved, restoring your health and grenade energy as well. So once again, this is going to be great. Gets instant health regen and also grenade regen as well. The main one of the build though that I like using is Bleak Watcher. The key thing with Bleak Watcher is that you can consume any of your grenades that you are then able to throw out a Bleak Watcher, but the exotic that we're using in this build has a different effect. If you are using Cold Snap on this, you're going to be able to get 2 of these, which also then plays into Feed the Void as well when they freeze stuff, and then you're going to be able to just kill and destroy things, which is awesome. For our abilities, we're going to be going with Storm Grenade because we are going to be pairing this with an exotic. We're going to be using Getaway Artist. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. We are using Penumbral Blast because this is going to be able to get more darkness damage to feed into Transcendence, and also freezing stuff is quite nice. You can also shatter stuff as well with this. And we also have Phoenix Dive because it gives us Cure. You could go with a Rift if you really wanted to, but I like having Phoenix Dive because it's good when you're moving around just to press it while you're in the air. For our super, we're going with Nova Bomb Cataclysm because this isn't going to be like an endgame focused build. This is just a lot of fun that you can use. Because of one of the fragments that we are using, we're going to be able to get a Void Overshield using this. But when we use Winter's Wrath, we're going to be able to get Frost Armor. And if you use Song of Flame, you're going to be able to get yourself a Restoration. But I do recommend going with Nova Bomb just for that extra damage output. For the fragments, the key one that we need to talk about is Facet of Sacrifice. You can get this from the end of the campaign. It's just before the final boss. I talked about it in my previous video. You can go back and get this on the legendary version of, or like the regular version, like a single mission. But this is so good because while you have an Arc, Solar, or Void buff, you are able to get Darkness Transcendent energy. So if you have Devour, great. You have Amplified, great. You're going to be able to create that Transcendent energy for darkness without having to use a lot of darkness weapons, which is fantastic. We're also using Facet of Protection, which gives you more damage resistance. We have Facet of Dawn to give ourselves powered melee hits. I would probably drop this when I get the artifact mod, but this is just great to have on in the beginning, mainly because you can use Penumbral Blast to get yourself Radiant. We also have Facet of Courage, which is your Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to darkness debuffs. So if you slow something or freeze it, you're going to be able to then use any of your grenades, all that type of stuff, which will give you more damage. This is the key one though. Facet of Purpose. Picking up an Orb of Power grants either Amplified, Restoration, Frost Armor, Woven Mail, or Overshield based on the damage type of your super. When we go with Void here, this is going to give us obviously a Void Overshield, which is more damage resistance. if we were to go with Woven Mail, like we had Strand with Needle Storm, which I haven't unlocked yet, you will be able to get yourself even more with Woven Mail and more damage resistance. So that's the subclass. Let's jump into the other abilities and the mods. The key exotic we are pairing with this build is Getaway Artist. When you convert an arc grenade, you're going to be able to generate yourself an arc soul. Now, on the screen right now, you'll be able to see some gameplay. When you consume your arc grenade, you are able to bloop out a little Bleak Watcher right in the location that you are in. So you then have a 20-second arc soul. You also have a turret that's available to you. You're also generating Devour. So this is a really awesome combination that you can take advantage of. And I wish that we didn't have to necessarily use an arc grenade here, and we could use more like different types of grenades just in case it had different situations. There isn't actually an exotic that we can use, like an exotic class item that has Getaway Artist on it, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's what we're going with here. Just a quick note on weapons. I am using the Call, which hatchling on it. This is very, very good. You can use a variety of different weapons. And I'm also using the Pro Memoria with hatchling on it as well, just for that extra minion damage. And these all do my darkness. And then I've got Sunshot and Graviton Lance, which I'll talk about a little bit later on in the video. Let's go through the mods. Due to my weapon choices, I am going with a Solar Siphon and a Strand Siphon on my helmets just to generate more orbs for myself. And then I'm also using Dynamo because it reduces super cooldown when using your class ability near near enemy targets. You can use maybe Ashes to Assets here or hands-on. It's entirely up to you. I just like using Dynamo here. We have one grenade kickstart because you kind of have diminishing returns when you use this, so just having one is great because of what we're going to be doing with the rest of the mods. I have Impact Induction as well, which is causing damage with a powered melee, reduces your grenade cooldown. On the chest, I have 2 copies of Charged Up. This is going to give us a maximum stack of 5 when we use them, and then combine that with our leg mod on stacks. Anytime we pick up an Orb of Power, we're going to gain an additional stack. So picking up 2 Orbs of Power will give us 4. 3 will obviously give us the 5, and then we can use that to generate more grenade kickstart, which pretty much gives us, I think, 50 to, I think it's like 75% of our grenade back, which is pretty nuts. Combining that with Absolution, ability cooldowns also go away when we use our Orb of Power, like they get reduced. Recuperation replenishes health each time you pick up an Orb of Power for that extra health regen. And then on our Bond, we have Distribution, which reduces all ability cooldowns when you use your class ability near targets. And we also have Bomber as well whenever we use our class ability. And Reaper, because this is going to help us spawn more Orbs of Power. So Orb generation from Solar and Strand Siphon. And then with Reaper, and we are cooking with the mods. For the artifact, I'm going to recommend that you get Threaded Blast. Destroying a Tangle with a Strand weapon creates a larger and more damaging explosion. We also have Elemental Siphon, which I'm not using in this specific instance. But if you were to use a kinetic weapon or a weapon that matches your supers, like a Void weapon, you're able to make an Elemental pickup, which will help you. Dealer's Choice or Winning Hand, Dealer's Choice weapons are going to have a lot more potency when using this, purely because I'm using 2 of them. And the 3 that you want are Void Hegemony, which is prismatic, will give you, or defeating weakened targets will provide you with a small overshield. We have Radiant Orbs, which is making you radiant when you pick up an Orb of Power. And then when you use an Arc ability, like Arc Souls, you're going to be able to make yourself amplified with Galvanic Armor, which gives you a 35% damage resistance. On the next column, I do recommend that you get yourself Shield Crush, which is really good. So while you have Woven Mail, Frost Armor, and Overshield, your melee recharges faster and deals increased damage. But while you have Amplified or Radiant, your grenade comes back quicker, so it makes it even better there. And then also Transference you can potentially get. Gain increased grenade and melee damage while you're Transcendent. Weapon Final Blows while Transcendent. Refund Light and Darkness energy after Transcendence ends. Maybe you could use Prismatic Transfer, I don't really think so, or maybe Expanding Abyss, but we're not really using a whole lot of extra Void stuff here. And there's some other stuff in here, but personally, those are the ones I'm going to go with. Let's talk about how the build actually plays and what I think about it. The best part about this build is being able to fully control a room, but also having the ability to destroy those frozen targets easily without you even having to try. This combines two builds together and has some crazy Transcendence uptime, as well as getting things rolling into your super with the Cataclysm Nova. I really like the fact that when I use Cold Snap normally and I use my Bleak Watchers, I just freeze a bunch of targets and lock them down, and then I have to like manually shoot them. But having the Arc Soul around will destroy everything as well. And then we have that little benefit of a Void Overshield, and also with the extra Amplified, we can also get Radiant with the Artifact as well. There's a lot of good buffs that we can get here, and just uptime on Devour too. I opted to go with Sunshot in the original like loadout, but you can use Graviton Lance as well. Sunshot for extra burst damage, and Graviton Lance for more void explosions. And there is an evolution of this build, but you will need more fragments and abilities. But this is going to be the best build that you can use with all of the stuff that you have available to you after you get out of the legendary campaign. So I recommend doing this. Once again, dim link is in the description. If you enjoy these build videos and all the content that you want to see on this channel, make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and as always, this has been Jimbo, and I'll see you guys next time.